Welcome, OrangeJuiceCast episode 3!
Three and Knuckles. Get it? Because it's like that Sonic.
Title credits. Today we're...
Just play the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Christ.
I hope the thumbnail is me photoshopped over Knuckles on the Sonic 3 and Knuckles now.
Yeah, I'm gonna be photoshopped badly over the title itself and just leave Sonic completely unscathed.
I won't mention it again in this video. But it's 2018 clickbait and
I hate
stuff.
you. Today we're doing video games that surprised us. Surprised us in some way or another. We've got about 4 each, 2 good, 2 bad. I think we're going to do pretty much that
2 games that surprised us in a good way, 2 games that surprised us in a bad way.
Yes. So Matt, start off with your first one.
I will start.
Because you're a cuck.
I will start. I got an Xbox 360 not on launch. I was always a Nintendo kid.
Boy.
I had my Wii, got that on launch date. Didn't have any other console, just had a Wii. And as the Wii's life went on, it became more and more apparent that if you wanted the full game experience of that generation, you needed at least one of the 360 and the PS3. I think there were too many good titles on those games.
Sure.
That meant that
I got one for Skyrim.
Exactly. It warranted a purchase. So I got a 360. I got some, the normal stuff, Halo with it and Gears, because this is like a year or 2 into the 360 life.
Like what, 2005?
This was
roughly?
late into the 360 life.
God, yeah, about 2005. That's when they
I
came out.
got Gears and Halo 3 on it. So yeah. Was it Halo 3 2007? Like I said, this
it was a year after the Wii came out.
This was yeah. So I think it was. Yeah, so we're talking about 2007, 2008-ish. Got my 360. Anyway, played those games, loved those games. But then I download a demo for a game called Mirror's Edge.
Oh right, I was expecting you to go to Viva Pinata.
I do like Viva Pinata, but no, a game called Mirror's Edge. And
Okay.
all the demo is the first level of the game, and I loved it so unbelievably much. From the very second the camera's first person,
Sure.
and you walk around the side of the building and it opens up, you see all the white buildings and the reflections off of the solar panels on the thing, on the tops of the buildings. First person running parkour game.
Yeah.
I loved the shit out of it. I played that demo over and over and over again, like how it's intended to try and beat your time every time.
Sure.
And I whittled my time down, and I didn't give a shit about some of the games that I actually owned.
Yeah.
I booted up my 360 and went straight in that demo.
Nice.
And I got the full game when it came out, and it's not a perfect game by any means. You can definitely say it's not perfect, but I loved it. Played it start to finish in almost one sitting.
Sure.
I got it on like Christmas, so I waited because I was a kid. I waited for it for Christmas. And I got a bunch of other 360 games of it. And I put in Mirror's Edge on Christmas Day, and I didn't touch any other games.
Yeah.
I sat down, I played it through, start to finish, in like one sitting.
I remember that game being advertised.
No, it's not particularly long. It's like 6 hours or something.
Sure.
So I'm not trying to say
It's
it's
a
a marathon
speed-running
thing.
game, really.
But Mirror's Edge, okay, it is full of flaws. Full of flaws. I love Mirror's Edge. It is fantastic. Especially that first level, because it does feel like, sometimes in Sonic games where Green Hill Zone, or whatever, it's normally Green Hill Zone, but whatever they chuck at the start, is like clearly like, this level is great. And then from then on, it's like, oh, they didn't try.
Oh, Marble Hill Zone,
This is where,
slow down,
this
mate.
is where, I mean more with the 3D Sonics, this is where all the dev time went into this first level. I don't know, they ran out of ideas really quick.
Sure.
Apart from maybe like the end level, right? And Mirror's Edge does feel a bit like that, which is interesting because I liken Mirror's Edge to like a first-person Sonic. That's the way I see it. And even with all its flaws, and there are a lot of them, I loved the shit out of that game. Loved it. I think it is one of the best graphically looking 360 games because it does a lot with style. It's not just graphical compatibility. It does a lot with style, and everything
it's
is
red and white.
Everything is very, very stylistically together. They don't deviate much. It's all whites and blues and then reds for the runner vision.
Sure.
You get some like respites in the sewers and stuff, which makes sense because you're under the city, right? But thematically, it's so good. Everything's so clean because it's supposed to be this beautiful, clean city. Then you go into the sewers and other stuff where it's all grimy and stuff, and it looks great. Plays great. I want to say it's 60 FPS. Don't know, but it feels like it. It plays really smooth. No issues with performance, and it just feels great to run in first person and to do shit which you can't get in any other game. There's no other first person parkour game that there wasn't at the time, and there hasn't been since. And Mirror's Edge, you know, even though it was full of flaws, it at least made some of them work. I think the core gameplay of it is fantastic. It's not perfect, but you know, just having there are some games where it's all been done before, but the game does it so well. You know, you're like, oh, this is, you know, I've done this before, but this game does it better. Mirror's Edge is not that. Mirror's Edge is you can't get this experience anywhere else.
Yeah. I think I've seen one other game where it's a lot about 3D first-person platforming and movement in like a mech suit or something, but it's very heavily inspired by Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge is very much like that. This is, I remember at the E3 it came out that year. It was like, this is the new fucking throw Mario in the fucking bin, mate, because this is the new platforming shit. This is the hot stuff, and everybody cum their pants for it when it came out. I believe. I remember so many advertisements about it, but I never played it. I've always just heard, oh yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's just like I think the Yahtzee review pretty much like got me at that. Like, oh, you know, this tricky first-person platforming. I was like, nah, okay, that's enough.
Well, I think there's a big thing where people just love to say you can't do first-person platforming. Platforming doesn't work in first person, and I say go play that first level of Mirror's Edge. If you play nothing else, play that first level because it is great. And you know, fair play to, I think it's DICE.
Yeah. Fair
play to DICE who said, you know what, fuck that, we're going to try anyway. Because that's what games is about, isn't it? More games need to be like this. You know, everyone says they can't do it and then they try it anyway. Yeah. And for me anyway, Mirror's Edge, again, not perfect, but it does enough to at least, you know, make me keep my interest. I played it all the way through. I really enjoyed it, despite its flaws. They made a sequel, which we don't talk about, because no, it's not good. But Mirror's Edge 1...
You would just say it's surprised you.
It's not actually how bad the sequel is.
Oh my god, I'm fucking drunk off one beer.
It's not actually, no. I didn't put it on the list, but maybe it could have. Yeah, Mirror's Edge. It's some weird first-person parkour game.
Sure.
Let me download the demo. Oh wait, I love this. It's great. Play Mirror's Edge.
Fair enough. Nice one, Matt.
Faith as a woman protagonist as well. That's first person.
She's Asian,
right? And she's Asian. Like, I don't want to get too like SJW
attached
about this. Too late for that, buddy. Just ferociously tearing down this Faith post I've got up. Oh yeah, sure. But don't want to get too SJW about it. But there's a lot of talk all the time. Oh, strong female roles in video games. Where are they all? You can say Lara Croft. That's kind of it.
Well,
Faith, Mirror's Edge. DICE were doing this shit when they could have just made a guy. It could have just been a guy running around.
Sure.
But they pushed the boat for Mirror's Edge in many ways.
Cool. Nice one, Matt. Now, this game surprised me. This is my first game that surprised me in a good way. A lot of people will be like, oh, well, of course. Well, for me, it surprised me quite heavily in that it's Sonic Mania.
Okay, yeah.
So, I am not the biggest fan of the Sonic franchise.
Yeah.
I tolerate the first 3 Sonic games. Due to, I like when you build up the speed and it's good. But I find there's too many slow, like, you have to do some precise platforming and some uncomfortable moving around. I never got into them, never really liked them. 3D Sonics kill themselves. Absolutely not.
Okay.
Tom and all the other people just like, Jazz, try this, and they're like laughing to themselves like, yeah, it's great, right? And I'm like looking at it like, this is awful. This is actually dog shit. And then Sonic Mania, everybody comes their pants, and Otis is like, oh, play this game. And I was like, oh, whatever. So I stick it on because I'm like, fuck it, everybody loves this game, let's just try it. And to my surprise, I got into it.
It is great.
I think that they really refined the gameplay where I felt like most of the time I was just running at quick speeds and jumping quickly. There wasn't much slowdown and precise platforming. It was a good flow to the game.
I love Sonic Mania.
And the soundtrack's fantastic. I really, really enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, I get it. I actually understand what all of you absolute fucking losers get about Sonic.
Yeah, I love Sonic Mania. I actually think, and it's not really on topic, but I'll say it now anyway because it comes to my mind. I actually think that the kind of the marketing of gotta go fast, Sonic's all about fast. You know, you always go fast, fast, speed, fast. Is actually almost does those games a disservice.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of Sonic is that there are times where you slow the fuck down and you do precise platforming, and then it opens back up and you flow and you go really quick.
Well, it's
and
meant to
then
be like the build up.
Yeah, and then you slow down and you do some more precise platforming and it flows like that. It's not always just supposed to be you hold right, and if you have to slow down, it's bad. There are definitely points, even as back as Sonic 1, where the game is designed to be like, okay, you slow now and you fucking get this platforming done. Yeah. Once you've done that, then you hit a boost and we can go again.
See, I was always...
But I think a lot of people that don't like Sonic go into it thinking, I'm supposed to be going fast all the time. Which isn't really the case of the Sonic games. There's much more to them than that.
I just found like because it used to be like I will put Marble Hill or Lava Reef Zone. Yep. You have to jump on this thing and wait for it to go across. The like that shit. Fuck that. Whereas Sonic Mania has gimmicks in each stage that is like, oh, you fly into a thing which puts you into a popcorn machine. You're spinning around. It does slow you down.
Yeah.
And has that build up, but you don't feel like you're slowing down. It feels like something's still happening. Like. So like you'll have the bouncy liquid which you bounce off in like the toxic zone, then you fly across each stage. It's technically precise platforming, but it feels much more comfortable and fluid with the actual game design of you run quick and you bounce quick. Like
there's loads. There's absolutely loads of good
ideas. And then obviously
every Act 1 is a remake of a classic one.
Yeah.
But then Act 2 is a new one based on that.
Yeah.
And they don't kick you back out and chuck you in for Act 2. The music subtly changes over for Act 2 and you just go again from the end. The original zone that they have, there's one original zone.
The Studiopolis.
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
It's the best.
It's like the best zone in it.
That is the best zone in the game. Obviously everybody loves Angel Hill Zone, Green Hill Zone, fucking Marble Lava Reef, whatever. Sure, and a good remix of them. They're good remixes with good stuff, but I wanted way more of the Studiopolis zone. I was like, this is fucking amazing. The music's the best. The boss battles, everything about it, I really enjoyed. And it's short. It's a short game. Yeah. I love short games.
Shout out to short games. More of those.
Let's not do 75 hours to get level 90 on Final Fantasy and then kill myself. Play Sonic Mania, everyone.
Sonic Mania is great, and isn't it ironic that it sounds like we're not getting any more of it? They did a Sonic Mania Plus, but it's like no new levels.
I didn't. It was like new characters
you get, like,
or something.
2 new characters, and I don't know.
Well, to be fair, Sonic Mania is made by like one guy who really likes Sonic, and he's like, "Look, Sega, you're a bunch of fucking."
I think they gave him a team.
Oh sure, because he did a like a demo for it to start with.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like 70% of the game or something.
Right.
And then went to don't quote me on this. And then went to Sega and they went, "Oh fuck, okay,
yeah,
we'll publish this."
It was like a
ROM hack.
He was doing like ROM hacks and fan games before then.
Oh yeah, and they went, "Fuck, like, you're doing it better than us."
And then Sonic Mania was great. I think it even sold really well. But then we've not heard anything about
Sonic Mania. Did sell very well.
We've not heard anything about Sonic Mania 2 or if any of that happened.
Well, it's the best reviewed Sonic game in the last 10 years.
Knowing Sega, it's probably not happening. So that's a shame. But
they're gonna make another Sonic Boom.
Sonic Mania is great.
Yeah, so that was a game I was very surprised by. Matthew, what is your game?
I'm going to get hate for this, and you're going to lose all your subscribers.
Okay.
When I was a kid, again, looking through O&M magazine, screenshot of like a blue kind of cat thing in the rain. For some reason, I really liked that screenshot. I was like, you know what? Oh, God, that must be
so fucking weird reasons for playing these games, you fucking.
I was a kid, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy that game when that game comes out. Right? You know what that game's called? Star Fox Adventures.
Is that when you're surprised by how good it is, or
I was surprised
by how bad it is?
By how much I liked it. Now, I will say this to cover myself. Now I am an adult. I have not gone back to play Star Fox Adventures.
I haven't played it either. I joined in the hate on it because it's not Lilac Wars, and I love Lilac Wars, and so fuck that game.
I've not gone back to play Star Fox Adventures, so I kind of don't want to, just in case it is absolutely terrible as everyone says. But When I played it for the first time, I remember really, really liking it.
You can go to Cordoba Palace.
Yeah, dude. Listen, you make jokes like that, but the Zelda franchise is full of that shit.
Oh, sure. I mean, to be fair, it was designed as its own original game before, and Rare got fucking shit canned. They went, "Oh, just chuck Fox and shit in there. What? Who fucking cares?"
You know, I think I don't know if we recorded this. We have had this conversation before, where I say, look, Legend of Zelda is one of the most beloved, profitable franchises ever.
Damn right.
Where and so is Call of Duty. So companies make all these Call of Duty clones, and you have that Medal of Honor reboot.
Oh sure.
And you had a load of Call of Duty clones back in the day when Call of Duty 4 was making billions of pounds.
Yeah.
Where are all these Zelda clones?
Yeah, I actually 100%. There are no Zelda clones.
There's nothing which is like, oh, this is Sony's version of Zelda or whatever, right?
I've played a couple of games like Hyper Light Drifter, which is meant to be, this is like Link's to It's not. It's not.
We're talking about modern indie games here.
Oh, absolutely not.
Like, where's your 3D version of where's your Ocarina of Time, but on your Xbox?
Sure. I mean, the closest thing I've seen this year was Minute, which is a Legend of Zelda, but it's all about the puzzles and it's got its own unique thing that it can't really be classified as that. I've never seen a real proper clone of it.
Because
I suppose Star Fox Adventures is...
Clone maybe is the wrong word. Think about it, right?
Inspired heavily by.
Love Zelda, but you can't say that it has done it all with the genre, and you can't say that it has done everything perfectly. So why not someone take a shot at making a style of these games which isn't a Nintendo?
I'd absolutely
and see what they do with it. Now, ironically, it kind of was Nintendo that kind of did this. It wasn't obviously the Zelda team though. Yeah. And Star Fox Adventures is very, very Zelda-like, but you play as Fox instead of Link, and you have a staff, and you get a dinosaur and stuff. Yeah. But there's a lot of variety in those games. Going to all the different planets. There's vehicle sections where you're in I remember you're in a snow ski. What am I thinking of?
God, a snow plow.
It might be a plow, I don't know. You're going down the fucking snowy mountains in a snowmobile, and you've got to race people, and you're fucking shooting, you're blasting shit, and you got all the they have like a whole mana and magic system with your staff, and you upgrade your staff with magic and stuff. It's very Zelda, and there's like literally dungeons. It's very Zelda, and it's not as good as Zelda, but it doesn't mean it's worthless.
Sure.
It's like vanilla Coke.
Matt, let's address the elephant in the room.
It's like vanilla Coke.
Let's address the elephant.
Everybody loves Coca-Cola.
Do you want to fuck Crystal?
It's like
this is it, right? This is your love letter to the furry community, right? You really want to fuck that blue titty fox, right, Matt?
Only if Faith is also there in there.
She takes off the fucking helmet. It's Faith. I knew it. Yip in hell, Matt. Oh,
anyway,
God.
It's Star Fox Adventures is vanilla Coke, right? Everyone loves Coca-Cola. Vanilla Coke is not as good as Coca-Cola, but sometimes it's nice for a change, you know. It's not too much of a change. It ain't Fanta. It's still Coke, but it's a bit of a twist that you didn't expect. That's what Star Fox Adventure is. This is my review. Star Fox Adventures, it ain't Fanta.
It ain't Fanta. Slap that on the fucking box art. Matt Dack, it ain't Fanta.
And again, we'll never get another one or anything similar to that.
Absolutely not.
So that's that down the pan. But Star Fox Adventures, I really liked it.
Okay.
It's not amazing. It's not the best thing ever. I did like it. It was enjoyable, and
surprised you.
I'm glad that they took the risk and went and made a game in that style, because no one else was doing it, and no one's done it since.
Okay. Well, I've actually realised I've written. I took out one of the games that disappointed me, and I've got 3 games that really surprised me how much I like.
Okay, well, whatever.
So I'm gonna.
No one's watching this.
I'm gonna go ahead. No, absolutely not. I'm gonna pop into another game. Think back to 10-year-old, 12-year-old me, got his DS for the first time.
Fact.
Yeah.
Go on.
I was rubbing my nipples for warmth because the rest of me was really warm.
Box of chicken nuggets on one side. Ketchup packets on the
couple of empty cartons of orange juice strewn around the room. I've got my fat chubby fingers holding my DS for the first time.
South Park on DVD or VHS is on the TV.
Popping my uncle's pirated DS cartridge, which had like 80 different games.
Yeah, it's an awful.
And I'm like, okay, I'll try some games, and then I'll pop in this one game because I saw it on O&M's magazine cover.
Yeah.
And it was Animal Crossing Wild World.
Nice.
I literally was looking at this game oh fucking great. a bunch of animals, you know, oh, it ain't Zelda, it ain't Mario, oh, like this fucking ingrate that I was.
Yes.
Pop this game in, I think, what the fuck am I in for? I'm getting a mortgage? Who fucking cares?
Yeah, you are. Getting a nice little house. Bit of land, bit of garden.
Fucking play through the game a little bit, and then it's like, okay, what else can I do? Fine. I've had enough. Play another game.
Yeah.
Try again tomorrow. Oh, I can do some more stuff.
Yeah.
And then just like...
Look at that.
And then, lo and behold... A year has passed, and I've played that game every single fucking day.
Yeah.
I've got all of the Nintendo furniture. I've made my mansion is exactly how I want it to be. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Amazing game.
Wild World was my introduction to the Series 2 and loved it as well.
I still think it's probably not been topped.
No.
Actually, New Leaf is pretty good.
I think Wild World's the best Animal Crossing game.
I think so.
Even just because it's portable was like...
Oh, I mean... Absolutely. The fact that you could just have it with you, just pop it on in the morning, you do your routine tasks, you do like fun things, you get to know these quirky little characters in your village. It's very nice, and it doesn't make you play it for long times to unlock the content. It's very much like, do it in a chunk and then go enjoy the rest of your life. But it's so satisfying and like, I don't know, it's like a good job.
Yeah, no, what it is first of all, way ahead of its time. Because it's one of the games which is like a zone out game, like a chill game. I don't know how to describe it.
It's all based on the actual real life world clock.
Right. And what I mean is like there's nothing taxing about it. It's not supposed to be taxing or challenging or difficult. Sure. It's supposed to be
relaxing.
A relaxing game, like a zone out game.
It's like Stardew Valley is capitalised on that.
Right,
and it's a routine that's like, but it's calming. It's not difficult. It's not. There's no difficulty really in it. It's just, enjoy this, have fun, see what you could, in this quirky, weird world, and just, relax.
Yeah. No, there was something weirdly, surprisingly fun about. Oh no! Surprisingly fun about getting up in the morning
and digging up fucking fossils and catching weird fish.
Getting up in the morning in real life and thinking, I gotta fucking harvest the apples and sell them off, and then I gotta pull some weeds up. Sure. I've got to deliver the fucking thing to the guy, then if I find anything else, if I get more time today, I'll do it.
Analyze my fossils.
But I gotta get my fruit picked and sold today, because then
maybe I'll get enough money to pay off this part of the mortgage for Tom. And it's surprising how much I learnt from the game as well. That's one of those things of like, I now know loads of names of fishes, different parts of like animal, like dinosaur bones and insects. Like, I know this stuff in the back of my head now. That if it was on like fucking Question Time or University Challenge, I know that people are. Oh, how did you know this certain thing? And I can't say to them because I play a lot of Animal Crossing. Yeah. Because that's embarrassing. You just say, I'm just a smart guy. It's like, no, I play a fucking lot of Animal Crossing. And I just like that game a lot.
My specialist subject is Tom Nook.
My specialist Tom is Crazy Red's fat ass.
Crazy Red.
Paintings.
Yeah,
I was
say. I love how some of the paintings he sold with Dodge.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's so good.
I get that classic art, and there's some like weird like tanuki leaves on it.
Some of them aren't like but some of obviously in game. Some paintings are supposed to be real, and some are supposed to be dodgy fakes.
Oh yeah.
Like parallels to people selling dodgy VHSs out the back of their vans and stuff.
Which is quite funny because I was playing it on a dodgy cartridge on a fucking.
Is that what your dad does for a living?
You know what to say about that? He finds them. He finds them.
Oh, yeah, I'll find this on the road.
I found this Mona Lisa on the road. But I mean,
well, no one's gonna miss them, son. So I might as well make a few more.
What am I meant to do? Give them back? That's the thing. Is like I think that was the game that got me out of my like. I'm only ever gonna get Smash Bros. I'm only ever gonna get Mario. I'm only ever gonna get. It really inspired me to try new games, and from there. Paper Mario, loved it. Final Fantasy, loved it. Pikmin, Fire Emblem. Just I tried new games, and I'm very appreciative of Animal Crossing. And what a nice surprise!
What a nice one. Here's another surprise, but this is a bad surprise.
Oh no!
Right, here we go. They rebooted Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein 1. Well,
yeah.
The fucking first-person shooter
Sure.
on PS4?
Is it the New Order, or is that the second one?
Shit me. No, New Order is the new one. New Order is Wolfenstein 1.
Okay.
I think.
Oh, and the Colossus is number 2. There's something Colossus.
Something Colossus, right? Wolfenstein New Order. That's what I got it.
Sure.
God, I hope that's right. Wolfenstein New Order. Played it. Thought it was really good. Single player first person shooter. Been a while since we had one of those.
Yeah.
Played it all the way through. Didn't think it was perfect. I did have gripes about it. I thought some of it was like frustratingly hard.
Mm-hmm.
I thought some of it lacked some of the stuff which modern FPSs are all doing these days, and it didn't do it. But overall, good story, good game. Played it all the way through. Thought it was great. They announced Wolfenstein 2 day one buy. I'm like, Wolfenstein 1 was great,
sure,
and everyone knows it, and it's sold okay.
I like the trailer as well. I had that like cartoon chameleon or whatever.
Yeah, now they're gonna have time to make a fucking sequel, and it's gonna be good. Wolfenstein 2 is and it got okay reviews. Wolfenstein 2 is trash.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
I've heard it's like boneheaded the design decisions.
It is so disappointing.
They fucked up the health system as well, didn't they?
First of all, the game doesn't know what it wants to be. The first Wolfenstein was serious, but in many ways not. It very much took the piss out of itself, especially with the protagonist. The protagonist is called BJ.
BJ, yeah.
His name's BJ.
And he fights Mecha Hitler at the end of the fucking original.
Fight like Mecha Nazis, right? It doesn't take itself too seriously. And Wolfenstein 2 is a weird habit of doing the thing where it's like, we don't take this seriously either. We're still not taking this seriously. Sure. Apart from this cutscene, take this very seriously. Look how emotional this is.
Yeah.
And it's just such juxtapose. It's not spoilers because the game's been out forever, and this is actually right at the start. But basically, one of the characters from the first game gets killed, and it's a little bit like, oh shit, like, that's a bit bad. Like I played through with him all in the first one, but it's not. Like, it's right at the start of the game. It's not like, okay, if anything, that should be the emotional moment, yeah? Then they can go back to being a bit jokey. My name's BJ, and I'm killing Nazis.
That's his, like, motivation for continuing to kill Nazis.
Mate, there is a cutscene where, so the character dies and gets their head cut off. And then there was a cutscene where BJ picks up the fucking guy, like, in his arms, it's a woman, I think.
Yeah.
Picks up in his arms and carries him back to the base. But she's got no fucking head. So it's like, he's carrying him by the body, and the head is just like, and they've like rendered like the neck kind of muscles or whatever.
Oh no.
Just like hanging out of his head.
Oh no.
And he walks in like, and it's supposed to be all like serious, and all the characters are like, oh no, she died. Like, yeah, she fucking died. There's no head. It's just weird, right? Okay, but that I can put up with. Shit cutscenes, shit atmosphere, I can put up with. As long as we get some solid single-player first-person shooter, Nazi killing goodness, I'm up for it. Now, what Wolfenstein New Order did very well was that it's very cut the fat, no bullshit. Here's your gun, here's the Nazis, you run forward, you point and click, you do it for the entire game.
A bit like Doom 2016.
It's very like, you could argue bare bones, but it works for it because there's no fat. That they don't try and horn anything in. It's just like run and gun, here's your gun, you're satisfied, shoot. Yeah? Sure. Wolfenstein 2 chucks in, and so many sequels fall into this trap. It chucks in so many elements that it didn't need and isn't designed for. Sure. The amount of stealth in this game
I'm out.
Is ridiculous.
You've just solved me out.
Now they try and say, oh, it's optional, right? But if someone gives you the optional, you can run and gun, and you have to kill 30, 40 enemies that constantly spawn until you get them all, or get the general. Or if you take out these 2 guys and don't get alerted, you skip all that. It's like, you get punished for not stealthing the parts where it wants you to stealth.
But I mean, the whole combat's designed about you kill as many Nazis as you physically can.
You can say it's optional, but not when you punish people if they don't play the stealth sections when they come. So, like, there's no stealth. They've added nothing to help the stealth. You get throwing knives, which is always the worst fucking first-person stealth. Yeah. We want stealth. Yeah, now you get a throwing knife. Okay. And nothing else. But you don't get... It's not a stealth game. You can't peek around corners. You don't have a mini-map. You don't have cones of vision, if I'm correct.
It keeps the standard, like, actual
it's
shooter
standard
combat.
first-person shooter. So you just crouch behind a wall and... if I'm correct, and I hope I am, because it's first-person shooter, it's not even like Gears where you lock onto things, right? So it's like you manually move and just crouch behind a wall, and you have to like peer up.
Gears
I think you can peek up around cover. It does let you peek up around cover, but it's not like Metal Gear peeking around stuff.
No.
And it's like, now there's generals walking by and you've got to throw throwing knives at them and stuff. And it doesn't work. The game isn't designed for stealth, you know. On top of this, right at the start of the game, because at the end of Wolfenstein New Order, you're basically fucked. You're in the hospital, your legs are fucked, you can't move, right? Now, they get past this by saying, oh, by the way, guys, you know this is a joke and it's all Revenish history, Nazi mechas. Well, now you get some super mecha suit. Yeah. And not only are you back to the full strength for the first one, now you're even quicker, you can jump even higher.
Cool.
Right? You know what you're going to do with all this new ability to go really quick and jump really high? You're going to fucking walk around crouched, because now you've got to do stealth sections.
You got to hide from those two
and
Nazi
it's just
guards.
like, it's like, oh man, like you know,
sure.
You almost move too quick in that game, because you've got the fucking big suit and you can jump really high, but you can't make noise. You have to hold the walk button.
That's a shame.
And it's like, you know, why give us this big suit and say run and gun and kill everything, and then chuck stealth sections in? On top of that, the way like hit scanning works with enemy AI is dumb. They can shoot you when you can't see them and stuff. Like, it's really bad. It doesn't do the thing which all first-person shooters do. But when you get hit, it tells you the direction that it's coming in by where the blood is on your screen. That's always a bit hokey. Like, oh, if you get hit on the right, there's blood on your right vision. Doesn't make sense. But you really Call of Duty, if you know, does this and always has done this. Call of Duty 4, right? You get shot. If you get shot from behind, the blood comes up behind you, right? So you can turn quick, and you're like, oh, I know where they are. Doesn't do that in Wolfenstein. You get hit and like you lose health, and the screen flashes red, and you get like a tiny little marker to maybe say where it's come from, but it's really inaccurate. So often you just get hit and you don't know where you're getting hit from. The enemy AI is like perfect, and I was playing on like normal. I'm not even playing on hard or anything. The enemy AI is perfect with like grenades and stuff. Like, always pinpoint. You step out of cover, you get hit immediately because the way the hit scanning with the AI works. It's really hard and not in a fair way. Not in a fair way. On top of that, enemies.
Well, I heard that they actually reduced the main character's health and the enemy's attack for no reason, because it was pretty perfectly balanced in the first game.
Again, it goes on top of this, which doesn't make sense. First of all, you're changing it from the first game for no reason. Second of all, you've been given a mech suit, which is supposed to make you superhuman. Why can I die even quicker than in the first game?
They've got really strong bullets, man.
Right, really strong bullets. Enemies take forever to go down. The bullet sponges. Wow. Anyway, it's not very good. I wanted to like it really badly because I loved the first one. I really like single-player first-person shooters because we don't get enough of them. Wolfenstein 2, disappointing.
I like the original Wolfenstein. See, that's the only Wolfenstein game I've played, unfortunately. I saw like because they really hyped up the advertisement around the game with the it was like you walk into like a bar and there's like a Nazi woman who comes in. It's like, oh yes, Brumhilda, oh give me your blood so I can check if you're a Nazi. And then it's like, oh, she's really fucking evil and she's got a fucked up face or whatever. And it's like, oh, she's creepy and she does like Christoph Waltz, like long, Inglourious Bastard sort of scenes. Yeah. And it's like, oh, this is like terrifying Nazis, but also there's like weird, wacky, like hound Colossus mechs or whatever. And I'm like, okay, sure, that sounds fun. But a lot of people just said it was just fucking shit. Like,
there's a scene. There's a scene like which you play through in Wolfenstein 1 where it's like that Inglourious Bastards thing, where you're on a train and she doesn't know who you are, but you know who she is.
Yeah.
And she's like dealing out cards and stuff, and
you're trying to like keep
fluff it. You have to like keep it cool and stuff. It's actually really good.
Cool.
Stuff like that might exist in Wolfenstein 2, but I never got to it because I got fed up.
Fair enough.
What a disappointment. Now, just saying it now. Doom 1. I also bought around the same time. I bought, by Doom 1 I mean the reboot.
I still haven't played
Doom 1 I mean
2016.
2016, the reboot of Doom. Yeah, 2016. I bought that right after Wolfenstein New Order. I loved it even more. Doom 2016
I know I'd love it.
Fantastic. Now, Doom 2 is coming. Don't fuck it up like you did with Wolfenstein 2.
Oh, I don't know.
Please.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. Did you see the trailer for that though? It literally starts him walking around like a fucking some facility where people are like, oh my fucking god, it's him. Yeah. Terrified.
I don't mind that though.
He's like grabbing people's necks and just like wheeling him over. Love that.
Yeah,
and it's got added a grapple hook. That game's gonna be fantastic. I need to play Doom. I need to play Doom.
Doom 2016.
Need to play it.
Don't fuck up the sequel.
Here's my bad surprise for you guys. Matt, have you ever played Bastion?
I love Bastion, dude.
I love Bastion as well.
Yes.
Music's fantastic. The gameplay system is fantastic. The world is weirdly written, but like, it's tastefully done, and it's like a good indie movie.
Yeah.
Because Because it's a good indie game. It's very, very good indie game.
Bastion's great.
Transistor, however, I really don't like.
Yeah.
I have a lot of problems with Transistor. This game was another one, like 9, 10 out of 10 game of the year nominee, whatever. And so I'm like, great. I can't wait to play this.
Yeah.
Stuck this in, and I was like, oh, I got a bit uncomfortable with the combat system to start with. Because before, Bastion's just you click, you slap it. It's like Diablo almost. But a lot more clear and defined. In this, it's like you fight in real time, and then it pauses and goes into a real-time battle system sort of thing, where you move your units and you do sort of critical damage. And I always felt I never truly understood the actual combat. I never really felt it worked, even when I beat the game. Like I was like, I'm not getting this. Like this feels awkward and clunky and horrid.
Yeah.
No matter what I do, no matter what upgrades I do, I was like, I can't figure this out. It just feels awful. It breaks the flow of combat. It breaks everything. It just feels like, oh, okay, stop. Now I have to move my guys over here. So that was obviously, I hate anything that, I mean,
yeah,
I didn't like the gameplay.
Fair. I never played Transistor.
The music's fantastic, as usual. It's still, same composer and everything, but they really got their head up their own arse. With the story, like, ooh, everybody's trying to take a voice, and the world's voice is like, fuck off. Like, all these monologues, like, before it was like, oh, this is interesting because it's, I don't know, it was, I don't know what they did, but Transistor is just fucking, I couldn't stand it.
Yeah.
And I really disliked that game, and I don't know why, everybody seemed to cum their pants over it.
Yeah, fair. I never played it, but yeah.
Yeah, don't play it. I've heard Pyre's really good.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Jazz.
No way.
And it's funny that you mentioned Transistor, because my last thing I'll say, last game I'll say, the game that disappointed me, loved Bastion. Sorry to rag on Supergiant Games. I looked it up while Jazz was talking because I forgot the studio.
Oh, shit.
Pyre really disappointed me.
Oh, no.
Really disappointed me. Now,
I was really hyped for that because it's basketball and RPG, and I'm like, I want more sports mixed with RPG.
Again, love Bastion, was way up for Pyre because of all the rave it was getting. Got really good reviews.
Yeah, got 9s and 10s again.
Bought it. Now, it's not awful. It's not an abomination.
Is it NBA Jam?
It is boring as shit.
Oh no,
it is boring as shit. Now, the game is split, and reviews will say, oh, it's 50-50. It's not 50-50. The game is split between kind of visual novel, but I'm doing air quotes, visual novel cutscenes.
Oh, what, you mean two characters appear talking with text on the bottom?
Yes.
We're talking.
In very, we lamed out, this is a DS RPG game.
Doki Doki Panic, right? Every sort of visual novel.
Static characters,
great,
which have text, and voice acting, to be fair, I think.
Yeah,
I think everyone's got voice acting. And then the static character changes every now and then for a line, like the artwork, yeah?
Sure, Fire Emblem.
It's that mixed with basketball. Now, I'll get to that. First of all, when I say mixed with, the game is like almost all characters talking in that sense.
Okay.
The actual basketball bits don't come along often.
Oh, really?
Right, there is not much gameplay here. It is a visual novel with a bit of gameplay. So, okay,
no.
Look, even if you go in thinking that, this is still salvageable, but the game, I'll tell you what it does well. It sets the mood really well. It sets the world really well. The music is good. The atmosphere is good. None of the characters are overwhelmingly annoying, or you think, oh, this is dumb. And none of the characters are really great on you, but everyone's boring. It's so boring.
They don't stick out. It's a standard shit anime that you won't watch.
There's so many conversations which just do nothing. They say nothing. I sat there through text box and they say a lot of words and it sounds good, but there's no consequences to anything that's been said.
It's overwritten.
It's definitely overwritten. The information that I gathered means nothing.
Some art student wrote down interesting flourishes in conversation that make it sound interesting, but without actually saying anything at all.
It introduces a lot of characters very quickly, and the characters are distinct, but when it's just two characters talking to each other and the conversation just ends, it's like, okay, at first you're like, oh, okay, listen, that conversation didn't progress the story in any way, but it let me know the characters a bit more, right? But there's so many, I cannot fathom how much is just talking. And in between two characters talking with text, and again, you're reading text. Yeah. That's all this is to this. Sure. You're not picking dialogue options or anything. Yeah. You do occasionally with the main guy, but it's very occasional, and it's only when the main guy's in it. A lot of these conversations are happening between two characters who you have no control over, and you're just watching it.
Oh no!
Right. In between this, you have like an overworld level which looks really nice. It's drawn beautifully.
Sure.
And you select where you want to go, and like a cartoon of the cart like wheels over to it, and you watch the car like drive there in 2D, and then you get to the destination, and two characters pop up and they talk again in text, and it is boring. It's so boring. Oh, no. And there is a lot going on. I can see what they're going for, because they're going for something like ultra deep world building.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot implied. There's obviously a lot of times where characters are saying things, but because of their inflections, you can tell they're lying and things like that. So I'm trying to get into this. I'm trying to be like, I can see, like, yeah, you're going.
Some dudes made a wiki of this and absolutely had a field day.
And there's like lots of things about whether or not the goal that you're going for even exists, and there's like some religious groups in the game which don't believe in it, and they're like, that's a joke. You're never going to get out of here, etc., etc.
Sure.
They do everything there right, but it's just boring. And it wouldn't be as bad if the basketball sections were fun, but they're not.
See, I was expecting NBA Jam, and then you level up people, which is what, I mean, I was like absolutely fucking sold.
The gameplay is like, at first it seems promising. You pick your 3-on-3 basketball, and like we keep saying basketball, it just is basketball.
Cool.
There's basically, instead of hoops, the hoops on the floor, but you chuck a ball between each other.
I'm shocked there aren't more games that mix RPG elements with sports simulators.
3-on-3, so you pick your pick your three guys, and you can be strategic about it, because some are better at going quick but can't throw it very far.
Sure.
Some are all-rounders. Sure. Some have special abilities, like they can fly. Some hit the ground and cause like tremors and stuff to stun people.
Hoops, 3-on-3.
Right. Some have tanks and can defend better, but are slow. Right. So there's strategy in it, and there's also another like side thing about the game where when you basically complete a certain amount,
you have to get rid of a guy.
You have to get rid of a guy, and they go up and they get saved. Basically. By the way, that comes across so hardly ever.
Okay.
Like I played it for hours and hours. I think it happened twice. I lost 2 guys. It barely happens. The game is very long and very slow. Anyway, the basketball sections, they're not great, because think NBA Jam, but none of your other players move apart from the ones you're controlling.
Sure.
There's no AI for your team.
Oh, what?
So here's what happens. The game starts. You switch to your fast guy, and you run and you pick up the ball. You have the ball, and then you try and pass, but the 2 other people in your team just stay static. No one on your team moves unless they're being directly controlled.
Oh God.
So I kind of get it. Like it doesn't. I kind of get it, because you have to juggle, right? So you've got to move people into position, but while you're moving someone into position, the AI could then grab the ball and do something.
So you could do basic AI programs in that move with character.
So you might
move into certain positions you want.
So the way it's supposed to work is like maybe you move your quick guy up and you leave him up top away from the battle, and then you switch to your all-rounder and you try and win the ball, and then you can quickly lob it to your quick guy who can then dunk it in the thing. But it's just not that good. It's just really boring. It's just like it's slow because of that, because you have to control all 3 and no one moves when you don't have the ball, and it's just there's not that much depth to it.
You've really unticked
there's
my box.
There's really not that much depth to it. Like you have quick guys, you have all-rounders, and you have tanks.
Sure.
So your all-rounder sits in the middle and wins the ball. You give it to the quick guy who can go and runs, and you leave your tank at your base, who you switch to then defend it. It's kind of it. They try and mix it up with like some of the stages have like holes in them, so it's not just a rectangle anymore. But it's not great. It's not great.
It's no Mario Strikers Charge.
It's not Mario Strikers Charge. Even if it was in the state it is, again, it might have been tolerable if there wasn't so much text of just talking.
Yeah.
And then in between the text of talking, you're just watching a cart manually drive to the next bit.
Which is
and
crazy.
That's the game.
Which is crazy from where it came from. And Bastion, the thing really sold that game is you had that Sam Elliott like voice,
which goes
with the narrator,
and that narrator doesn't interrupt and is in the background, and you play the entire time.
Yeah, it's whenever you do a thing, he'll say the kid saw a box and it reckoned it wasn't for kicking.
Yes.
And it's like, I love this. This is amazing. You feel like it tells a story as you do it.
The end of that game where you're carrying the thing.
Oh, don't even tell me. It's so good.
Great.
And then Transistor, to round this whole Supergiant fuck you off, is that like Transistor tries to do the similar thing.
Yeah.
But it has the sword as the sort of narrator. But it's not a narrator, it speaks to the main character.
Yeah.
With such forced poor chemistry. Like, it's meant to be these are lovers, but it's not, because it's a guy who turned into a sword who stabbed a woman. You know, pretentious Final Fantasy shit.
Yeah.
And he clearly doesn't have the charisma that the Sam Elliott voice had.
Yeah.
And so all the narration, it feels like a poor knockoff of Bastion, but done in a way which is like almost like a sitcom drama. Like with somebody, oh, if I get you back, would you love me? I don't know. Could ever love or I can't even remember because it made such a shit impression of me. And now that Pyre is devolving into just pretty much text-based or whatever.
Here's what I'll say.
That's sad.
If you're like looking for a book, if you're kind of looking for something to read, something interactive to read, then you might really like Pyre. But it is a lot of reading a story and conversations and a bit of shit basketball.
Yeah. Fair enough. I don't want to play that game anymore.
Make a Bastion 2. Like, we all just want it.
No, don't make a Bastion 2. Leave that game as it is. I could talk forever about how disappointing Octopath Traveler was.
Right.
But I'll leave a link to the video I made.
You've already done this.
Which is 40 fucking minutes long, really, about how much disappointment that game was.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about a game which didn't disappoint me.
Okay.
To round it out with a positive note.
Yeah, good, because I'm just trashing Pyre.
Sure. This game is... among everyone always mentions this as like a disappointing game or a game that doesn't fit in with the rest of its series, and everybody's like, oh, I don't know, it's not, you can't even call it a game from this series.
Yeah.
Whereas I played this like thinking, well, I've got to complete this series sort of thing, and I actually surprisingly enjoyed the gameplay mechanics and the general world anyway.
Of
Legend of Zelda.
Oh no.
2. Adventure of Link.
Legend of Zelda 2.
Legend of Zelda 2, Adventure of Link.
Shit. Controversial.
Yeah, controversial, right? So, obviously, Legend of Zelda, the original NES game, masterpiece.
Yeah.
Revolutionised storytelling, video games, long haul, everything.
Yeah.
Everything owes for that game. Zelda 2, it's like Nintendo snorted drugs when they were like, we need to make sequels to our main games.
Yeah.
Super Mario Bros. 2 is Doki Doki. It's a different game that they've reskinned. And they got an actual sequel in Japan. They fucking did drugs. Legend of Zelda goes like, right, we're going to throw everything out of the bag that we did. And we're going to do completely different with Zelda 2. Combat is now like side-scrolling, like Street Fighter almost. And it's like, it's all based on high attacks and low attacks.
Yeah.
There's RPG mechanics. The open world... There is an open world, but it's every time you get... It's like enemies on the overworld that transport you into a different 2D facing game. It's different. It's way different. Dungeons are clearly designed differently because the main dungeons are in 2D, like, front facing.
Yeah.
I can't really think of a way. A front facing 2D, not top down 2D.
Yeah.
And yet, I really like this game.
Interesting. No one else does.
No, I know what. I don't know why. The combat is really interesting because you have quite a lot of control over it. You jump and you hit, and it's got a very small hitbox, but it's very satisfying. You hit it. All the sword swings, I suppose, in Zeldas are quite small hitboxes anyway. But it's a lot of depth.
No, it's like a little stick that comes out.
Sure, a lot like the knights have shields and they move up and down to block things, and the actual combat feels tense. You have a down thrust and like up thrust and moves you learn.
Yeah.
It's almost like a Metroidvania game.
Yeah, before
in some ways.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's still a Zelda. You get the certain thing, and then you get this ability to do more.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say it's a perfect game. I mean, I'm glad Link to the Past got made because that game's a masterpiece. But it's for something that changes so much of that Zelda formula, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
And it gives a lot of flack. And I was thinking, I'm going to go into this, fucking despise this. Like, this is going to be hard, brutally fucking miserable.
Is it not hard?
It is hard in certain bits, but, like, it's got levelling up mechanics, and eventually it gets to a point where it's fine. Yeah. And then if you know how to beat the final boss, then it's fine. You just crouch in that bottom corner and you swing your sword. That's all you have to do, mate.
As long as you can cheese it.
As long as you can cheese it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say that some of the temples I was like, what the fuck do I do? But it wasn't like everyone made it out like this absolutely impossible to decipher Simon's Quest 2.
Yeah.
Like, crouch by this thing holding this equipped ring or whatever. It's not that. It is like, oh, you need to get the hammer to open the rocks. Okay, where's the hammer? Oh, you got to talk to the villagers. Oh, it's in that palace. Yeah. Fine, okay. And you do it. Like, it's not bad. Death Mountain's a fucking nightmare because it's a big maze, but it is surprisingly deep, and there's like spells and like abilities you can get that it is weird. It's really weirdly entertaining and fun. And that's pretty much all I have to say about that.
Fair.
It's no wonder Gamelon.
Legend of Zelda 2.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to how surprised we are about games.
Cheers.
If you want to listen some more, then follow Matt on Twitter at Bodak Horseman.
Yeah, it's Bodak_Horseman.
And I'm at OrangeJuiceJaz.
I'm gonna get so many followers, dude.
Oh no, you're gonna get no followers.
I'm gonna be famous, man.
I'm gonna up my subscriber count to 1 more. Good.
It's just me on another fake account.
Matt is me. I'm just putting a voice on.
I'm just doing 2 voices here.
This is it. It's this really weird and gay.
I'm glad Tom's not around anymore because I used to have to do 3. And
it really hurt my voice going. Oh, wow. Sonic Adventure 2.
Wow. Right. Wow. Well, I'm out. I'm done. I'll never watch this channel again.
Oh no.